Not so fun facts you'll regret knowing. To start off, anyone can have a brain aneurysm at any age, no matter if you're healthy or not. And did you know that cigarettes have killed more people than any war combined? That's pretty wild. And talking about war, did you know there's a higher chance of you surviving getting shot in the head than being bitten by a dog that has rabies? Why am I scared of dog all of a sudden? And talking about animals, there's a wasp in Australia that actually hunts spiders. It just paralyzes them and starts laying eggs into it before wrapping it into a mud cocoon. And finally, if you ever get in a fight and you punch someone in the heart at the wrong time, you can literally stop their heart from beating, making them pass away.
Here are some fun facts that are not fun, but you should still know about them. Well, Teletubbies is a cute innocent show for kids, right? No! It's actually based on a mental institute in Bulgaria called La La Land. These kids were locked up for days and people forget to feed them. So Lala's real name was actually Tulip. Her face was so deformed that she looked like she was smiling. She was locked up for so long her face turned yellow, and that's why she was the yellow Teletubby. Next we got the blue Teletubby based out of a Tolaway who was really naughty. One day he was punished by staying outside. Because of the cold, he froze to death and he turned blue, and that's why he's the blue Teletubby. Next we got the green Teletubby named Dipsy. He puked and vomited all the time because he was always sick. When he puked on the floor, nobody cleaned it up, so he just lied in his vomit for months. So he got sicker and sicker and he turned green, and that's why he's a green Teletubby. And last we got Po, which actually was my favorite. Her real name was Polia. One day she was playing with mud and she came home really tired, so she fell asleep by the fire. Not knowing it was Po, someone came and thought she was a log and threw her into the fire! And that's how she died.
These fun facts aren't really that fun. Most dentures in the 1800s were made out of the teeth of dead soldiers. There's a part of Mount Everest called Rainbow Valley, and it's named that because of all the colorful coats of the dead people scattered around. In 1933, Dr. Carl Tanzler raided the tomb of a female patient that he was obsessed with, stole her body, and then lived with the corpse for 7 years! Like, this body was literally falling apart and he had to try and keep it together with, like, coat hangers and shit. And the only reason he was caught was because somebody saw him through an open window dancing with it.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you.
Alam nyo ba ang nursery rhyme na Ring Around the Rosie ay may nakakatakot at deadly na backstory? Base daw ito sa Black Death, kung saan 75 million to 200 million ang namatay sa Europa noong 14th century. Yung Black Death, mala COVID. Ito ay isang sakit na nakakamatay at mabilis mag-spread na kinailangan mag-quarantine at sunugin yung mga patay na katawan. Na ang kanta na Ring Around the Rosie ay base daw sa Black Death at yung mga nakakatakot na pangyayari noon. Una, tingnan natin yung lyrics. Ring around the Rosie. Ito yung mga bilog-bilog na rashes na sintomas ng sakit. Pocket full of posies. Ang posy ay isang bulaklak. Ito daw ay bulaklak na nilalagay ng mga tao sa kanilang damit, sa kanilang pocket, para matago yung amoy ng kamatayan at amoy ng sakit. And some say na posies are a way para hindi ka lapitan ng sakit. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Ito daw kasi ang abo kapag sinusunog yung mga bangkay. Sinusunog nila yung mga bangkay para hindi mag-spread yung sakit. Diba ang creepy? Pinakikinggan to ng mga bata, nilalaro natin to ng bata tayo, tas ganun yung kwento. Pero some say it's an urban legend.
Here is a personal story that I wish I could forget. I was around 12 years old, sleeping in my bedroom in the home where I grew up. Now, during this time in my life, I would experience lucid dreams, where I was aware that I was dreaming, and I could actually control what happened in the dream. I was able to do things like make myself rich, or even fly in the dream world. Now, one night, around 2 a.m., I woke up in my room and looked at the door. Standing in the doorway, staring at me, was the figure of a large clown. I was completely terrified. But then I realized I might actually be in one of my lucid dreams. So I laid back down in bed and closed my eyes tight, then sat up and looked at the same door where the clown had been. This next part still haunts me today. If you guys want to hear what happens next, then download the app linked in my bio, and part 2 will be available there. And trust me, this story gets crazy.
Morbid facts that will give you nightmares. When a prisoner is electrocuted in an electric chair, they can feel absolutely everything. They are fully aware that their body is being fried in real time, and one prisoner that survived said he actually smelled and tasted like cold peanut butter. Human corpses decompose 4 times faster in water than underground, and 8 times faster if left in the open air. It takes around 359 humans to have enough iron to forge a sword from their blood. Just about 3,000 people go missing every single year in the US. The last execution by guillotine was in 1977 in France. That was exactly the same year that the first Star Wars movie came out.
Disturbing facts that may ruin your day. Your brain blocks out the feeling of your organs moving around inside of your body at all times. After giving birth, some women can feel their organs sliding back into place as their uterus shrinks. Human babies are helpless at birth compared to other animals because our brains grow so big. We evolved to give birth earlier in our development so that we don't severely hurt the mother while coming out of the birth canal. Your nose is always in your line of sight. Your brain just chooses to ignore it. You could look at any object and your tongue already knows what it feels like to lick it. You could have 2/3 of your liver removed and it would regenerate itself. If your immune system found out that you had eyes, it would attack them and you would go blind. No matter how hard you strain, you're only using about 60% of your full strength. If your brain didn't stop you, you could tear your muscles and break your bones just trying to throw a ball as hard as you can. When you hear about mothers lifting cars, this is thought to be the fight or flight adrenaline temporarily overriding that limit. If you have surgery and they have to take out your intestines, they put them in a bowl next to them while they work. Your intestines wiggle around in the bowl like snakes the whole time.
Let's see if you have morophobia. I'm going to show you 5 photos. If you feel too uncomfortable to make it to the 5th photo, then you could have morophobia. So let's go. Number 1. And how about this? Feeling uncomfortable yet? Nearly there. Last one. If those photos made you feel uneasy, then you could have morophobia, which is the fear of mice and rats. Follow now to see if you can make it through the next phobia test.
What if I told you that a simple jolt in the middle of the night could be much more than a reflex? You're sleeping deeply, your body relaxes, and suddenly, boom, it contracts, as if something invisible had just grabbed you. Scientists call this sleep myoclonus, but some believe it's more than just a random phenomenon. More than 70% of people on Earth experience it. Why? Some researchers say your brain thinks you're falling into the void and sends an electric shock to protect your body. Others suggest something darker, a test of your mind to check if your soul is still there, connected to your body. What's disturbing is that these spasms happen more often in anxious or fragile people, as if they were more exposed. Some even report feeling a presence, as if someone was trying to wake them up by force. So, is it just a reflex, or proof that our body becomes vulnerable at night to what it cannot see? And you, have you ever felt this mysterious jolt?
This is why sometimes you're better off not honking or saying anything to anyone on the road, because people are crazy. This is Cantrell Settles. He was 21 years old when he was driving with his girlfriend by his side, and he was behind a car that was at a complete stop when it was a green light. So like any other person, he honked at this car, and little did he know that his life would be taken. So when Cantrell honks at this car in front of him, that car doesn't move, so he drives around the car and drives off. All of a sudden, the other car, which the driver was 23-year-old Deborah Benefiel, she starts driving behind Cantrell, follows him, and then shoots at his car, and it hits him in the chest. This is her. She was found by police and arrested, and I just think this is absolutely insane that this person got so angry over a honk, she took out a gun to shoot him. I'm not even kidding. I honked at someone yesterday for almost the same reason. This person was on their phone and it was a green light. I always say you never really know people's mental state on the road, so sometimes you're just better off moving on with your life, even though honking is completely legal and in this scenario, very valid.
Photos with disturbing backstories. Just a normal selfie. Her reflection tells everything. Just a normal photo. Who is that? These guys are praying for their murdered teammate, but they didn't notice that the murderer was in their team. Sam Kunan, preparing for a rescue. He then suffocated after rescuing 13 people. Cute couple. This woman is dead. Just a random selfie. They got hit by a train. After this, Apollo 1 astronaut praying as a joke. None of them made it back to Earth. A soldier smiling in the trenches. This is the result of a shell shock, a state of borderline insanity. Just a picture of James Dean with his Porsche. After that, he died in a worst car accident.
This girl from Miami posted a video of herself swimming in the ocean early in the morning. At first it looks totally normal, just another beach clip, but if you look closely, the water around her seems way too dark and covered in strange bubbles. She's laughing, diving in, thinking it's just sea foam. But people in the comments started pointing out, that doesn't look like foam at all. Later it turned out that just a few hundred feet from the beach, a sewage pipe had burst. While she was swimming, the water around her was about 20 to 30% sewage, and now everyone's wondering, how did she not smell it?
Here are some reasons why Michael Jackson might still be alive. This video is a recording of Michael Jackson's nephew's wedding, and if you look closely, there is an overweight man in the background, and he appears to be wearing some sort of mask on his face. The disguise looks extremely similar to how Michael disguised himself as an overweight man using a mask and a fat suit for a film he did in 1996. Even though Michael supposedly died in 2009, this song that Drake did with MJ was actually released on July 6, 2018, and it was found out that it was originally recorded in 1983. But what doesn't make sense is that Drake wasn't actually born until 1986. This video was filmed by Michael Jackson's cousin very recently. It shows his crypt, and that even after all this time, the crypt still doesn't even have Michael's name on it, or any indication that he is actually buried there.
Things that almost no humans can do, but I'm not sure, and if you can, then you're bloody weird. This is where you raise one eyebrow like The Rock, and only 5% of humans can actually do this. Do you want this video if you can do it?
This is the creepy story about the stare. A girl was on a subway late at night when she noticed a woman staring at her intensely. The woman was sitting between two old men. The girl kept looking away, but the woman staring never broke eye contact. It started to freak the girl out. At the next stop, a tall man in a trench coat boarded. He sat down right next to the girl. The woman who was staring paid no attention to the man who just boarded and just kept staring at the girl. Now this really creeped out the girl. The two men that the woman was sitting between never once looked in her direction. The girl then pretended not to notice, but each time she looked, the woman was still staring at her. At the next stop, the man in the trench coat got up to leave when suddenly he grabbed the girl's arm and dragged her out of the subway. The doors shut and the subway took off. The girl then started screaming for help, but then the man said, "Calm down. I just saved your life. I didn't mean to scare you, but I had to get you off that subway." The woman that was staring at you was dead, and the two men beside her were holding her up.
Here's some stuff you probably didn't know about the Wizard of Oz. The lion's costume was actually made from real lion skin and fur. It allegedly weighed 90 pounds and smelled terrible from having a sweaty human trapped inside it all day. The lighting setup caused the studio to reach temperatures above 100 degrees, and the winged monkeys wore such heavy and hot costumes that some allegedly came close to heat stroke. The Wicked Witch's green face paint was so toxic that she couldn't eat after it had been applied, and her face would stay completely green for weeks afterwards because of the ingredients used. Toto the dog was actually paid more than the human munchkins. Even though Dorothy is clearly the main character of the movie, Judy Garland only made $500 a week for her performance, while the actors who played the Tin Man and Scarecrow made $3,000 a week.
Actors who passed away before seeing their movie. Cameron Bryce. Descendants 3. Paul Walker. Fast and Furious 7. Heath Ledger. Batman: The Dark Knight. Robin Williams. Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian. Stan Lee. Avengers: Endgame.
A woman who slaughtered her wife by stabbing her 13 times with a sword has been sentenced to 37 years to life in prison. Wei Qian Huang was found guilty of murdering her wife, Chen Fei, and for attempting to murder her mother-in-law, who was caught on camera trying to flag down police with the bloody sword in hand. Prosecutors say Huang went after her wife during a domestic dispute about their impending divorce. And then when her mother-in-law walked in, Huang went after her as well. She ended up stabbing her wife 13 times with a katana that they already had in their home. The convicted murderer did not speak at her sentencing, but had previously told authorities that she has no memory of murdering her wife.
This is the scary truth behind celebrities. If you ever seen a celebrity do this hand symbol and then place it over their eyes in photos, it's actually not a fun symbol. It actually symbolizes the number 666. And these aren't the only symbols that celebrities express to the public. And it's leading many people to believe that they are doing symbols like this to symbolize their alliance to the Illuminati. This is extremely crazy. But let's be honest, these symbols that they are doing don't look normal at all. And it really makes you think why they are doing them.
This is the most evil mother in history. Her name was Giulietta. She raised her son Connor all by herself, and for years they were very close. But as Connor grew older, he started to drift away, and that left Giulietta feeling abandoned. When Connor turned 25, he got married. A year later, his child Paul was born. First time Giulietta held the baby in her arms, a twisted thought took root in her mind. She wanted to be the boy's mother, not his grandmother, so she volunteered to take care of the child while secretly planning to get rid of her daughter-in-law Linda. Pretending to care for her, Giulietta fed her so-called supplements every day until one day Linda suddenly died. After that, Giulietta began to brainwash Connor, repeating again and again, "The child is so little. It's too sad for him to grow up without a mother. Let me be his mom." In his grief and confusion, Connor eventually gave in. Giulietta thought her secret would never be discovered. But when Paul turned 5, the teacher gave the children an assignment. Each of them had to draw a picture of their mom, while every other child drew a young mother. Luca drew an old woman with a wrinkled face. The teacher asked, "Who is this?" And Paul answered with innocent certainty, "She is my mom, and she is also my grandma."